When extending feeders for panel boards such as 100 amp or 200 amp feeders, the choice between power termination blocks mounted in a hinged enclosure and split bolts with tape involves several considerations. Let's examine the advantages and disadvantages of each option. Starting with power termination blocks in a hinged enclosure, firstly, we consider safety. These blocks provide a neat and enclosed connection, minimizing potential electrical hazards. Secondly, they offer organization. They facilitate wire management, making it easier to identify and trace circuits. Thirdly, protection is enhanced. They protect connections from dust, moisture, and other environmental factors. Fourthly, quick installation is possible. They can be mounted and wired relatively quickly, saving time on the project. However, there are also disadvantages. Firstly, cost. Power termination blocks can be more expensive than split bolts. Secondly, space. They require more space in the enclosure, which may be limited in smaller panels. Thirdly, limited flexibility. Connections may not be easily reconfigured if future changes are needed. Now let's consider split bolts with tape. Firstly, a significant advantage is low cost. Split bolts are relatively inexpensive and readily available. Secondly, compactness. They do not take up much space in the enclosure. Thirdly, flexibility. Connections can be easily modified or reconfigured as needed. Fourthly, proven track record. Split bolts have been used successfully for many years in various applications. However, split bolts also have disadvantages. Firstly, they offer less protection. Connections are exposed to the elements and potential hazards. Secondly, they are less organized. They can result in a cluttered and untidy enclosure. Thirdly, they are time-consuming. They may require more time to install properly, including wrapping and taping. In conclusion, the best choice depends on the specific application and panel board characteristics. If safety, organization, and protection are top priorities, power termination blocks mounted in a hinged enclosure are generally the better option. However, if cost, space, and flexibility are more important considerations, split bolts with tape may be a suitable solution. Ultimately, the decision should be made by a qualified electrician who can assess the specific needs and conditions of the installation.